Hello my beautiful friends, it's Lisa here from Arcaneandstellar, and I want to welcome you to my channel for this timeless pick a card reading. We're going to be looking at the person on your mind and what they find beautiful about you. And so let's dig in and get ready. We're going to hear some positive things that this person on your mind has to say about you. So with that being said, I want you to intuitively choose one of these groups that's calling to you as you kind of think about that person. You're more than welcome to ask about different people as well. So you might have one, maybe 2 or 3 people or 4 people even that you want to ask about. And so definitely, tune into your intuition as you pick. And there's number 1, 2, 3, or 4. The timestamps will be up in the description box, so just pull that view more down and you'll see right where you can get started on your reading when you pick your pile. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, and thank you for being here. Hello my friends. So group number 1, you've chosen this group, and we're going to find out what the person on your mind finds beautiful about you. So we've got the card Hina, which is a goddess of courage, and I love that right off the bat. We're seeing a courageous spirit. So I guess one of the things that they really love about you is your courageous spirit, right? Because Hina is a Polynesian goddess, and it says here, when the moon goddess Hina appears, it means it's time for a change. See, she supports you through all transitions in your life, so take heart as you prepare for things to shift. And of course, I feel like for many of you, this just really shows that they love you for the courage that you possess. And they may see you as a very courageous person. It's like you kind of even go into things with eyes closed, trusting in your heart and the universe. And yeah, we have here also Nuwa, the creation goddess. So let's see here. I want to just kind of open that one up. So this is a Chinese goddess, and it's the goddess of creation. Nuwa is signaling to use the raw material of your life to create something meaningful, perhaps to find your very purpose. Now this is really interesting about using the raw material. So it makes me wonder if some of you have done things with very little resources. So some of you might be very creative in terms of getting things done. It's almost like you start from nothing and you get somewhere. You know what I mean? Like you make things happen. But this is also the courage of creativity. It takes a lot of courage to be creative and to create something in particular, like to create a business as an example, to create life as an example, or, to make big changes in your life. I feel like for a lot of you, this person just loves the way that you are courageous. And the thing about it too is that some of you may be very courageous in terms of expression. So it's like, for instance, an artist is an example who is vulnerable. I think all art, and a lot of it takes vulnerability, a lot of heart and soul, and a lot of courage. And sometimes people admire things in us that we may not think is a big deal. We might think, oh well, that's just normal. You know what I mean? We also have here grounding. Go deep and explore your roots. That's really interesting too. For some of you, maybe you like genealogy or your roots, your ancestors and things like that. And they may love that about you, that you respect your ancestry, that you respect your roots as well. They might love the fact that you are connected to that as well. For some of you, by the way, this is also about how you may be able to go back to the past in order to understand the present. And for some of you, that might be when it comes to courage and creation. It's like, well, you survived it before, you'll survive it again. You know what I mean? And we have here waning moon. What do you need to release? For some of you, maybe you had past pain as well that you've been able to release, and they really admire that about you. Perhaps like you didn't come from the best circumstances or something, and you were able to kind of release these things or to let go of something, and they find that like amazing and, something that they find beautiful about you. So we also have the 5 of crystals in the shadow. Now this is really interesting because the 5 of crystals is the 5 of pentacles. And we have persistence and new possibilities. And we have, of course, the shadow here, and it says self-empowerment and ambition. So with the shadow, of course, this might be about overcoming shadow qualities. I feel for a lot of you, the person that you're asking about, they have many insecurities themselves, or I would say insecurities is the best word I could describe it with. And So what they find beautiful about you is that you, and not to say that you're super confident and you're always on, point and on fire and like, yeah, you don't care what anyone thinks or nothing like that. But I feel like in many ways, it's like they may admire in you what they wish that they could be or what they wish they could achieve. And maybe for some of you, you've chosen a different pathway despite your roots, as an example as well. I also feel like there's persistence that they see in you that only comes from being courageous and embracing new possibilities and creation. Like, look at that. It's just like creative and courageous, and I just love this. And of course, here we have self-empowerment and ambition, too, with the shadow. And the shadow actually represents a jackal. And you can see that jackal there in the image. And of course, it's like, you need not to be weighed down by an unhealthy situation. Break free from constrictive energies that hold you back. And that's another beautiful thing too, is that for some of you, maybe you've overcome addiction or difficulty. And it's like, well, I admire that because you're able to really move past those things that hold people back, It represents the unknown and is necessary to embody the whole true self. Without it, we are fragmented. By accepting all sides of yourself, including anger and fear, you can master your shadow self instead of letting it control you. The shadow self is a powerful source of creative energy. If it's suppressed, the inner fire is extinguished and blockages occur. As a hunter of opportunity, Jackal will guide you into overcoming the illusion of limitations. Self-empowerment is born from action combined with expression, so release yourself from creative restrictions. Imagination is the ultimate power. And of course, they might find you to be a very imaginative person too. But look at that. It says here, it says that overcoming the illusion of limitation. And that's what I feel. It's like you've been able to build something amazing, I feel like, where they would have felt limited. What do they find beautiful? Look at that, Jupiter. We got the moon. Well, Jupiter and the moon together, well, that's a generous and kind spirit generally. That's one of wisdom that speaks from the heart. That is very spiritual generally. That's a very spiritual combination, okay? Jupiter and the moon. But yeah, Jupiter represents generosity, and it's generosity that comes from the heart. It's like you can give to others very well, and you might also give wonderful advice, by the way. But there could be a sense of like living abroad for some of you, or traveling far and wide, or exploring. There could be you may have what am I looking for, the word? Exploratory spirit. Like a spirit that loves to explore. And they could really find that beautiful about you. Again, if you're foreign or something or different than them, they really, really like that. They might find it very beautiful. And because of course that Explore Your Roots came out, and I'm like, okay. But this could also be like how you've learned from and grown from the past and transcended issues. And again, they might find you very enlightened on a certain subject, and it comes from like maybe personal experience and past experiences. So it's almost like the person that they can go to for advice. So like, for instance, say you're a mom and you have children, and it's like they may look at you and think, wow, they know so much about it because look at what a great mom they are, and you know what I mean? And for some of you, if you are mothers, they find you to be like a wonderful mother. That won't be, maybe it's a mother that like expands her children, that loves generously and kindly and, exuberantly, and is always trying to provide spiritual and moral experiences for the children, and you know what I mean? Like engaging them in the wide world and different belief systems and stuff like that. Or maybe that's the kind of mother you would be, if you had children. But anyway, you may not even be a woman or whatever. But, or even want kids. But so I'm just, obviously for some people, not for all. But yeah, this can also, it talks about perhaps lineage, and because of course the moon talks about that, but also you may have a lot of enlightened ideas about family and about feelings in general. And of course, Jupiter and the moon, a wonderful advice giver, a thoughtful person, a person who acts from their moral compass. So it's like definitely somebody who doesn't do things that do not feel aligned with them morally, okay? Like that's a given. And Whether other people agree with that or not, you know, with Jupiter and the moon, a different story, but they'll feel often like they're, you know, acting in a spiritual interest, or, you know, an interest that feels like, you know, that it comes from a conscience or something. Now, also, the other thing I was going to say, what was it? I had one more thought here. I'll see if I come back to it. But that's what I'm getting right off the bat here. And let's see here. What do they find beautiful about group number 1? This also could be your education, by the way, as well. Ah, we have luck. Now that's funny with Jupiter, because they might find it beautiful that you're like a lucky person, that you like attract good things to you. They might think that you're a magnet for luck or good things because of your attitude and the way that you, it's almost like they believe you should get good karma or that you deserve good things. They may even see you as a happy-go-lucky person as well. Oh, look at the idea card. Of course, there's, you know, somebody who thinks they find it beautiful how you have good ideas. Look at that live and learn. Like I told you, yeah, you learn from your personal lived experiences. Some people, you can give them a lesson 5,000 times and they ain't going to learn anything. But I feel like with you, it's like you've learned a lot. And again, it's like through the past experiences, through your experiences, through your development of life. And it's like, and you develop and you evolve through all of your experiences. Each experience you have brings you closer to the divine, to being a spiritual person, to being a guide to others, to being a person of good advice, and someone well respected. And so, yeah, I feel like that they also may find you to have really smart ideas. Like, you know how some people, it's like they think of the right saying at the right time, or they always know how to like make something make sense in a very like kind of, it's actually interesting because it could be like making big concepts. Especially Jupiter, it's like big kind of like, it's not Mercury, like little things, like 2 + 2 = 4. Jupiter is like the bigger questions that we have. And it's like making sense of it to where it feels familiar with the moon. So it's like, and that could be by sharing a personal experience. Okay, so you may often share personal experiences with others, and especially this person in particular, and they might find it to be beautiful because it inspires them in some way, you know? Okay, so you're easy on the eyes with this one. They might find you to just be physically beautiful as well. Here we have the sun. And I feel like this person feels like you're a ray of sunshine in many ways. Like you brighten the room when you're there. You have that like very nice aura about you. We also have a loving heart here. And you know what's funny is I look at that and I almost feel like these look like brains, like a heart-shaped brain. And so it's like you love with your heart, but also your mind. And it's like you don't let one override the other. Like they work in harmony. You know what I mean? So it's not like you live in la la land where you only just kind of decide things without logic at all. Like I feel like you have a good balance, or they think you do anyways. And they find that beautiful. We also have happy, and there's a birthday cake. So of course, maybe you've done something for their birthday that's kind or something, and they find that beautiful. Or maybe you throw good parties, or there's just something good about you. You know what I mean? Like there's a happy spirit, good heart, and things like that. We also have the cat here. So cats are definitely an independent energy, and they're pretty brave, right? And also we have 9 lives. So this person may think like, oh wow, they're very lucky and they've had like quite a few lives or whatever. Like they kind of always pull through. And we have here the key. And again, I think the key to knowledge in many ways. And also we have here the scissors. So some of you might be actually physically crafty. I saw that in one of the cards. But yeah, some of you might be physically crafty. But there also could be like cutting something out, right? Because scissors also cut. This person, they also find you beautiful because there probably is a soul connection between you and the person you're asking about. They may just be drawn to you instinctually through, the spiritual connection of some kind. Because I always see keys as that kind of vibe there. But also, again, keys open doors. So you may open doors for others or care about others, enlighten people as well. Like I said, you might have keys to information. So especially like if you're in the position of like, I don't know. I know that you may not be a teacher, right? You may not be some of you might be a good teacher to children, by the way, with Jupiter and the moon. But it's like there's a part of you that is a natural teacher. It's like instinctual to you. It's just how you are. It's how you live. And guys, you have to let me know, do you have any Jupiter moon aspects in your chart? I'm kind of curious. Because I'm like, or maybe moon in Sagittarius, or, you know, or moon in Pisces, of course, because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. But yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing here. I think I will go ahead and stop here, but I hope that this was enlightening and helpful for you. And I wish you a bright and beautiful day. Take care. And if you want to get a personal reading, you can find out how to do that in the description box. You can also join here as a member if you want to get some additional videos behind the scenes. Lots of love, you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 2, this is your reading. So I hope that this finds you happy and healthy, and hopefully I can get some interesting messages for you about the person on your mind. So let's start it off. We have got the Welsh goddess, and I'm really intimidated to say her name, but I don't know. Maybe I should have looked it up before I started recording, but I'm too quick, I guess. But here it says, it's time to take care of yourself. Goddess of flowers and spring is guiding you to fill your own well and tend to your own garden, because the time to bloom is coming very soon. Now, here with self-care, I'm going to tell you, like, to be honest, okay, maybe they find it beautiful that you do self-care. But I actually feel like for a lot of you, this is actually physical beauty. So I think that this person physically finds you attractive and beautiful, and again, it might be the way you do your hair, it might be the way you do your makeup, it might be the way that you just present yourself, though, and how you take care of yourself. So it's like your grooming and everything that you kind of do. Like, I just feel like this person really thinks that you look good, to be honest. Okay, so we also have Kuan Yin, and she's the goddess of compassion. And so this person probably finds you to be a very compassionate person. The goddess of mercy and kindness, Kuan Yin, is a favorite for altars because she brings pure compassion into your life. When she appears, she shows you mercy and gives you the love and support that you're seeking. Follow her example and be more loving with yourself. And that's, yeah, I definitely feel like this person finds you beautiful because you have a very kind heart. So you may be merciful to the ones around you. You're maybe not a harsh person, but you think about other people, and, you know, definitely try to relate to other people as well. Yeah, and you always, I feel like in many ways, like the person that you're asking about, you often have different perspectives. In fact, and I'm not saying, maybe they won't tell you that, but they might like look at you and you kind of give them a different idea about things. It's almost like seeing a different side, a different perspective. The Hanged Man is always about, you know, having a different perspective. Also, the Hanged Man, of course, has the energy of patience. So a patient and kind person. And it's funny because of fixed moon. Fixed moons can tend to wait a little bit more. Of course, I know some of you might be like, well, I'm a fixed moon and I don't like to wait. Well, you probably have other things in your chart that do not like to wait. There are probably other things there, because just because one thing is true doesn't cancel out another thing, and vice versa, and blah, blah, blah. So, you know what I mean? But to me, I think it just kind of shows a very patient person, or, you know, kind of persistent as well. And obviously this has the praying mantis, and it says here, the praying mantis changes his landscape by hanging upside down, reveling in a moment of observance and clarity while he waits. This is a time of suspension between the physical and spiritual worlds. He is your guide in opening yourself up to new perspectives, through which you will discover solutions and gain new insight. When life is at a standstill, look to the past for lessons learned, yet look to the future through the eyes of spirit renewed. Very beautiful. So yeah, perspective, patience, enlightenment, sacrifice, prophecy, and letting go. And again, with mercy here and compassion, like they may have viewed you in some way as somebody who could make sacrifices for others. And maybe it's like, you know, they've seen some side of you where it's like they notice that you put your needs aside. Not to your detriment, by the way, with self-care. It's not like you're just like letting people walk all over you. But when it's right, you do what's right, right? And that's kind of the vibe I get. And so we also have the 8 of crystals. So the 8 of pentacles. Now this can be somebody who is adept at their career. It could be somebody who is good at what they do. And it's a very strong and stable energy. We have dedication and progress. So again, it's like, keep going, you know what I mean? Holding your vision. So this can talk about developing a craft, or, you know, being successful and you know, maybe there's a lot of patience and perseverance in your life. And it's kind of like never giving up as an example. And like, even when like maybe things are slow, it's just like, well, I trust that everything will be fine. I'll keep on doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, everything will come together. And yeah, this is about effort, dedication, progress, confidence, adaptability, craftsmanship, and strength. So yeah, I love it. And then we have here, choosing your path, all is possible. And I feel like generally they find it beautiful that you do have a sense of optimism about you. And again, you can kind of keep yourself focused on something as well. For some of you, by the way, specifically, it might be that you're good at meditating or zoning out or somehow connecting to the spirit realm as well. Some of you might be able to channel energies or do things like that as well. Beautiful. So the second house actually rules the face. Well, kind of the lower half of the face. It's actually like more of the mouth area. So your lips might be very attractive and beautiful. And also your voice. Okay, so that's interesting. The Jupiter and the Moon card came out again, even though I had shuffled them back in the previous, from the previous group. They actually got these two cards as well. Weird. Okay, so again, Jupiter and the Moon. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go over some of the things that I did. I want to say, first of all, with Jupiter in the second house, this actually can be very generous with your finances, okay? So you may be a very generous person. You may do good works or charity with your money as well. This can also talk about, like expanding your finances in some way. So, or making money through Jupiterian ways. So that could be through teaching, through traveling, through foreign places, through foreigners, through spirituality as an example, pilgrimages, religion, expansion, travel agency as an example, anything like that, right? As I said, teaching and stuff like that, lecturing and knowledge, anything to do with that. So again, that might be, they might find something inspiring or interesting about your career or how you make money even, okay? So they might find that beautiful. I want to say as well, we have Scorpio here, so Scorpio Moon, possibly some of you might have. Some of you might have an instinct for what is beautiful, like you have good taste, okay? Like you just have good taste. I kind of got that anyway from this card at the first, but yeah, I can see that. It's like sort of instinctual. For some of you, your values may have been very instilled in you by your mother. I'm getting different messages. See, the same cards came out, but I'm getting different messages. Yeah, I could see how some of you might be very smart financially or have a lot of wisdom with finances, and it may have come from places that were kind of difficult, like you came out of something difficult. Maybe for some of you, you've overcome limited beliefs about money as well, which they may find beautiful. Or you may have come out of dark places, like I said, with money, fears and stuff related to money. I will say, like I said with group number 1, though, with Jupiter and the Moon, is that it's like you learn from experience, okay? Jupiter and the Moon, they learn through their experiences. So they have an experience and they learn through it. They gain knowledge from it. They often will connect to things and learn through emotions as well. So it's like how it made them feel, and this can also be that the mother instills a lot of values into how this person feels, which for some of you may be a good or bad thing, you know what I mean? It depends. I'm not going to make judgment calls here on this because I feel like with Scorpio it could be a little bit more complicated for some of you. For others of you, it might have been, you know, something where you can help other people because of your mother, like in some way, you know, like the mother taught you, or a maternal figure, or maybe it doesn't have to be your mother, it could be an auntie, a grandma, or someone like that, but a woman. I also feel, well, first of all, this could have been making money in other cultures or in foreign lands. So that could be something there too. But yeah, okay, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and take some charms. Okay, let me see here. We've got here the cameo. I told you, yeah, they find you physically beautiful and good looking. Like this person thinks you're a looker. Okay, definitely, because we have the cameo, and I always take the cameo to mean that that they find you physically attractive, or that there's beauty here on display. And yeah, let's see here. Ooh, recycling. Interesting. So for some of you, you might be good at repurposing, recycling as well. So this could also be taking like something dirty, like nasty or whatever, and making it new again, right? And let's see here, we have the crown too. So this person probably thinks of you as like a queen in some way, or, you know, a king perhaps. They might see you as, you know, like way out of their league even. They might think you're very beautiful, very like, you know, hard to attain, you know, type of person as well. They might find you very respected and, you know, like all of those sorts of things. We also hear, yeah, they feel like you have a magic ability as well. Like you might be kind of witchy and magical. It's like enchanting. It's like, did you guys ever watch The Good Witch? And it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's like it was a movie series, and then they had a television series and everything. And it's like she would always kind of know. It's like that sort of instinct, and that could happen too with the Jupiter and Moon combination too. It's almost like an instinct, and it's something like alluring. I feel like you're more alluring to this person, though. There's an, you know, that kind of vibe there. We also have the butterfly, and again, this talks about great change and possibility, right? And look at that. So yeah, you probably have enacted many changes, and for some of you, you may have had a huge glow up in your life, or it's like, and it doesn't have to be a physical glow up. It might be about glowing up because like perhaps you didn't come from the most like ideal circumstances, but you've made, you know, something of yourself as an example. We've also got thank you. So generous, but also thankful. And perhaps you are a very thankful person, like you, maybe they find it beautiful the way you express your gratitude as an example. Maybe it's like your behavior. For some of you, I'm seeing like maybe you make cute gestures, or, you know, you're very kind or warm when you receive something or something like that. But they may also feel just quite thankful for your presence as well. We've also got the starfish here, which to me talks about, well, first of all, let me just tell you, I'm going to pull up my little book here. I almost like knocked everything over. Wow. So clumsy. Okay, you're quite sensitive and have a great deal of empathy for others and are able to pick up on their emotional currents whether or not the person shows it or knows it. Yeah, I could see that there with Kuan Yin. You have a very definite idea and opinion about things, yet also respect other people's point of view. So yes, and I could totally see that because Jupiter is usually open-minded. And like I said, I think that you can respect other people. The moon is people, actually, too. So it's like being open to other people. Jupiter moon's very also good with other cultures. Oftentimes they can adapt really well to other cultures because they just are more comfortable with things that are foreign or different and not understood. Like the concepts, you know what I mean? It's like you'll take them on easier when you have this. And actually, funnily enough, and one of my teachers actually mentioned about the second house. What was it? Well, with Rahu, with a North Node in the second house, like that you could appropriate other cultures or backgrounds, but like, so you take them on sort of, like you become that person, like, you know what I mean? Like say you immigrate when you're young to somewhere else or whatever, you kind of take on everything from it. So there's also adaptability as well, like almost like you could fit in somewhere else, or you could, but it's not appropriate in like the word. I feel like that word modernly is not maybe the right word for that. But yeah, anyway, it's like you kind of pick up these qualities, I guess is a better way to say. Okay, you pride yourself in your adaptability and flexibility. Yeah. And are willing and able to change direction in a moment's notice as necessity dictates. You're very confident in knowing what's right for you because you completely trust and adhere to your inner guidance. And yeah, Jupiter and the moon together, that does tend to play out that way. Because, you know, it's like living by your conscience and doing what feels right to you at the moment. And it's like you know it because of the way you feel, right? Like if you feel icky about something, you know it's wrong. It's like, what was that? There's a Little Voice Inside poem by Shel Silverstein. That one. There's a little voice inside of us that whispers all day long. I know if this is right for me. I know that this is wrong, or something like that. No other person can tell you. It's that voice inside. Anyways, it's I can't. That was a totally horrible rendition. But go look that poem up because I could totally see, like, maybe this person sees you as that kind of vibe. You know, like where you do what's right. Now we also have the Elephant, and you have an insatiable hunger for knowledge and continually seeking to understand things. Oh yeah, I could see that. It's like you're happy, you feel good when you're learning, when you're expanding. You don't feel good in stuck situations. Like, yes, you need security, but you need to be able, it's like you'd want security so you could travel, so you could see things, so you could explore. You know what I mean? It's not for bad reasons. Okay, you have an innate capacity for drawing on ancient wisdom and communicating this whenever appropriate. Yeah, and I could see that too, like channeling, you know, because Jupiter can be very prophetic, and in the moon, it's like channeling the ancestors and stuff like that. You're a passionate and uninhibited lover who's quite able to please and satisfy your partner. Ooh. And once you set your mind to do something, there's nothing that will stop you from obtaining it. And I can totally freaking see that, especially in that 8 of crystals, like I said. Yeah, it's like, oh, where there's a will, there's a way. If I really want it, I'll get it. And, you know, because, you know, Scorpio can be quite intense. It's like, well, it's ruled by Mars, and it's like, I feel like it's like 50. I'm an Aries moon, and I feel like Scorpios are like, I don't want to mess with them because they'll like really hold on to something a lot longer. And that makes sense with a fixed moon, by the way. Scorpio is a fixed sign. I just caught that. Can you imagine? Jeez. Anyway, I guess I was looking at all the other messages, but yeah, that's funny. And yeah, there's an intensity. So it's like almost like when you're really into something, you get completely immersed. But anyway, they find a lot of things beautiful about you. And I hope you find a lot of things beautiful about yourself too, okay? Thank you for being here. And if you want some more content, you can join here as a member and get some behind the scenes pick-a cards. But you can also get a personal reading with me by going to my description box and looking at my Etsy store. Anyways, take care, guys, and lots of love. Bye-bye. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 3, we have the card Newt, and it says Resurrection. So I think that right off the bat, we're getting a lot of transformative energy, obviously. And of course, let me see here. I'm going to pull up. Yep. So it's obviously this is an Egyptian goddess, and it says here, you have the power to reinvent yourself at any moment. Bring yourself up from what may feel like the bottom. You can overcome the challenges that have been set before you. Goddess of the sky and rebirth, Newt is holding your hand. And I love this because it says you can bring yourself up from what may feel like the bottom, and you can overcome challenges. And this person that you're asking about, they probably think that you're capable of great perseverance, okay? And so you may have overcome a lot of things, or maybe there's something big in your life where you've really reinvented yourself. You've really pulled yourself up from the bottom and got back up to the top in some way. And so that's a beautiful thing, I think. Okay, we've got here, distant thunder, clear the air. Definitely. Okay, look at that. We have the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. And we got the moon in the 6 of shells. So, look at this. So you might be quite an intuitive person. This person might find you to be like very psychic, intuitive. It's like you're knowing a lot of things, or you just got a good eye for things. Of course, the moon can represent a lot of other qualities too that are very beautiful, including being a bit mysterious. Maybe it's like, you know, sometimes there's a lot of illusions, and like it's almost like things that are hard to pin down. And so there may be something about you that's kind of a little bit, it's like there's always something to learn about you, something to know. You know what I mean? Like each time they're with you, they learn a little bit more. That's such an interesting energy compared to like the other groups. You know what I mean? Because there's just something, it's like they just keep learning more about you. And of course, by the way, the moon can indicate a psychic connection between the two people, like shared visions, a spiritual communication as well. So they might find you beautiful because they feel this intuitive, strong connection to you. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Where somehow it's like you just vibe, you know what I mean? On some level. In Six of Shells, it really, that's sentiment and joy. And I feel like this person, it's like there's just a familiarity here. And, yeah, and you know, you can be a very successful and creative individual and a dreamer, and they might really love that, like that you still can dream. And of course, it's like, you know, the moon waxes and wanes, right? And I feel like here, it's like, I almost feel like when this person sees you, you're kind of quiet, but then you become more animated and friendly as they get to know you. Or something. I don't know. There's just something that's like pulling on me that says that. So I guess it might resonate with some of you, hopefully most of you. But yeah, and of course it can be like romantic dreams, building castles in the air, and all that sort of vibe too, as well. Like almost like an innocence, even despite maybe, you know, difficulty as an example. It's almost like, yeah. And then look at that. We have clear the air, distant thunder. Some of them might think you're quite prophetic about the future. So if you had any conversations about where you see the world going or anything going out in the world, like from far away, it's almost like from far away you're seeing something. It's like, I don't know. So maybe for some of you it's like a future thing or something, or maybe it's like, yeah, like the world or something. It might feel like that they might think you're very connected and they find that to be beautiful. Like as if you know what's coming or something. I don't know, that sounds so ominous. But anyway, but yeah, there can be a lot of enchantment and romance here, especially if this is like, you know, a romantic person. Well, certainly they find you very enchanting and romantic, and there's just something about you they can't get enough of. There can be a lot of sentiment though, like being a sentimental person. And talking of the past, they may enjoy talking about your past or their past or kind of reminiscing, especially if you had like a previous experience together, like, you know, a past together. It's like they might feel that way. It's interesting with clear the air. This person, I mean, some of you might be asking about someone that wants to clear the air with you, by the way. I don't know. I feel like there must be at least some of you, you know. Put a lightning bolt down below if that's the case. Anyway. What's interesting though is that I will say it's so funny with clear the air and the moon though, because the moon is not always the best at saying things straightforward, okay? And so it's like it feels to me like this person, I don't know, maybe you clear the air in situations and they find that beautiful. But I almost kind of get this yearning of wanting to clear the air or get something out in the open. It's like, let's see what this is about or something. I don't know. It's just a vibe I'm getting. Okay. But yeah, Six of Shells, beautiful energy, friendly, kind, generous, and like I said, just a good friend, a good person, and yeah, somebody they just feel very familiar with. Tell me what they find beautiful. Oh, we have Leo here. Some of you might have overcome taboos. Okay. Yes, okay. So I feel like we have opposition here, balance. I want to say that this person, what they find beautiful about you is that although you may be very different, there's just something about you that balances out. It's almost like you meet in the middle and you kind of really get each other. I also feel like you are able to bring things to light in many ways. Of course, Leo as a sign, and some of you may have Leo in your chart that's strong or something, but of course it's ruled by the sun, and the sun is the king, and the moon is the people, the moon, is the people, it represents the people, and then the sun, of course, is the leader or the ruler or the king, and so, or a queen. And yeah, I feel like there's a strong leadership quality to you. I really do feel like this person respects you a lot, to be honest. I think that they really respect you. They find you to be a playful and warm person, very, very beautiful. And like like physically, like you're glowing, you're fun, you've got a nice personality as well. And I also think that they may find you to be really living a life of extremes. I don't know. I feel like saying that, so I'm going to say it. I almost wonder, life of extremes. Again, maybe you've struggled with taboos or overcome taboos or something, or like strong difficulties as an example as well. For some of you, you might be really good at expressing yourself. I wonder, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering on that. I feel like it's half-half, okay? Maybe sometimes you're super open and other times you're super quiet. But yeah. I might get a little bit more here. I really do feel like this person, though, it's like you had some kind of past life together or something. They find beautiful. Okay. Da, 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 da. The third and the fourth house. Okay, interesting. Well, again, communication. This person really loves the way you talk, the way you express yourself, the way that you express your thoughts in general. I feel like they like the rapport between you, like they like the way that you guys kind of get along and the way you speak and everything. They may even like seeing you from time to time. With the third house, we can talk about the neighborhood, short trips and things like that. So again, it might be like you're not too far from their home or something as well. We've got the fourth house too with home. Of course, again, there's something about your family background or something that might really find beautiful. Again, this could be how you talk about the past as an example with the Six of Shells. Maybe it's how you relate the past to them. And so it's interesting with the third and the fourth together. Well, the third siblings, fourth is roots. So again, this might be about a sibling or something, a close relationship with a sibling. Maybe you have one, or cousins or something like that. Or there could be like, maybe you feel like family. You may talk a lot about the past as well, like just in general. And they like that about you, but you're not like hung up on it or anything like that. It's just that some people are just very nostalgic. But it's not by being stuck in the past. You know, some people will just stick there. I don't think so. Some of you might work from home and like anywhere where you like kind of communicate as well, or research, communication, teaching, things like that, or business. You could even own a business as well, because third and fourth, I've seen it with like business owners or somebody like work from home or something. I also can see, I would say that you don't live too far from this person. I wouldn't think so anyway. You might get around to places in your area as well, like exploring by foot or like walking around or doing things. And they might find that like, fun. Like maybe you like to have fun, you like to go out, you like to do things, you like to meet people, chat, all that kind of thing. This person, they find it beautiful that you guys are very similar, okay? Because look at that. 2 charms I didn't even know I had the same ones of. Yeah, like it's like you guys both have free hearts or something like that. It's almost like that song Gentle on My Mind comes to mind from Glenn Campbell. It's knowing that your door is always open and that your path is free to walk. That leaves me, anyway, go ahead. Okay, let's see here. Ah, there we have the cameo. So again, physically beautiful, okay? Physically. And Libra represents relationships and opposite opinions. And again, it's like how you guys come together. It's like very nice. This can represent, Venus in Libra, because Venus rules Libra. It's about social relationships, social contracts, relationships. Again, I think that they find just your connection beautiful. Like they like talking to you, being around you and everything. We have here never, never give up. And again, they might find you to be a very persistent person and somebody who's overcome You know what I mean? When we're talking about that resurrection energy. And of course, it's like you bring joy. It's like you're like the sun. There's just something about you that's bright. They find you beautiful. Your expression, your smile, the way you present yourself. And of course, here we have, you are my sunshine. So there's that. That's so funny. Leo, we've got two, you are my sunshine. Yeah, it's like totally a vibe there. They really do find you to be a sunshiny person. And again, there's a key. And I always take this as like a soulmate or a soul connection. And I totally got that in the cards. Like, definitely. Like you feel like home, or you feel like they find it beautiful because you feel comfortable. Or, and again, it may be that your family, like how you take care of your family, how you take care of your home as an example. Maybe you're a homemaker, or you do things around the home as well. Things like that. And of course, we have the cat. So there might be something cat-like about you. It's interesting because we saw the sun and the moon, and I do feel like there's opposite parts of you. Like sometimes you might be very quiet, and other times you're very outgoing. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you're not always like one thing or the other. There's, you know, a bit of mystery to you. And it's like, if the cat's your animal, so like in this case, we have a cat. It says here, you're introspective and listen to your own internal guidance more than others' advice. You're independent, sometimes to the point of doing exactly the opposite of what others expect or want you to do. That's funny with opposition. So some of you might be kind of stubborn sometimes, and you'll just be like, I don't care what people say, I'm just going to do it my way. And your most creative work is done at night. So again, maybe you see this person a lot at night or something. And that's funny because it's actually a lot of the night houses are here. So the third and the fourth, these are night houses. And so the night part of the chart. And so that's interesting too. Maybe you see each other in the evening or something. And of course here, it's like you move gracefully and naturally, exuding a mysterious sensuality. Oh yeah, I totally caught that with the moon. And at times you come across as rather self-absorbed, seeming oblivious to those around you. That's interesting. So maybe sometimes it's like, I don't know, but that's not a negative thing. I don't really get, this is not really a negative. It's what they find beautiful. So maybe they like how you talk to other people. They might watch you talk to other people and think, wow, I wish I was talking to them. You know what I mean? Like, I want to talk to them more. That sort of vibe. And then, of course, we have also the butterfly. And the butterfly, one moment. You have a profound appreciation for the natural cycles of life, death, rebirth that occur with and around you. So, of course, again, resurrection, understanding maybe death and like change and overcoming and all these sorts of themes. You have a great deal of vitality with exotic and colorful tastes in your choices of clothing, decor, art, music, and even friends. So there might be something like that about you. You're very attractive to others, and people are naturally drawn to you. You can be flighty and generally don't form strong attachments to other people. And you don't do well in harsh or toxic environments. As such, you have to live where the air and water are clean. And you adjust to change very readily and easily. Yeah, that's interesting. You don't do well in harsh and toxic. I wonder if there's something about you that focuses on health or wellness as well, like vitality and things like that too. But yeah, it says here you can be flighty and generally. Yeah, there's something about you. I do feel like this person's like almost like you're a little bit hard to pin down, and they like that. It's like, what's up with them? And then of course we have the dice here, and it's number 4. So 4 to me represents stability. And of course we have the 4th house here, and it makes you think of like home, family. They might, find you, like especially if you're like a mother or something like that, definitely might find you beautiful. Again, they might find you, like maybe you've mentioned your family and they admire your relationship with the family or how you speak about them, things like that, right? So yeah, that is what I'm seeing for those of you that chose group number 3. I really do hope that this is a helpful reading for you, and I'm looking forward to reading for you again in the future. I hope you guys come back, and if you would like to get more readings, I do have a members area here on YouTube, so you can get exclusive pick-a-card readings behind the scenes that I don't post publicly. And then, of course, there are the personal readings, which I do through my Etsy store, and you can get there too through my description box. You can also see the links to all the decks I use and stuff like that too. So I hope you have a bright and beautiful day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Hello, my friends. If you chose this last group, number 4, we have Sekhmet, and we've got the card of healing. So let's take a look. What does this person love about you? Well, Let's see here. I want to open up. So we have the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, and it says, Lioness, goddess of destruction and healing, shows you the power of breaking things down in order to rebuild them better. It's time to do just that. She'll send you messages in your dreams about what will help you transform during your next evolution. So yeah, breaking things down in order to rebuild them better. So again, if you have qualities of that, where you're able to kind of look at things and, you know, try to rebuild it better, like it's almost like you have ideas for improvement, you know how to try again as well. And yeah, we have solitude. In silence, peace prevails. We also have here, have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. And we've got the shaman and the wheel. Ooh, so 2 major arcana cards. So we've got the shaman, and of course we know that is the Hierophant. And definitely this person, what do they love about you? Well, there's divine wisdom encompassed in the Hierophant, and we have spiritual power as well. So I do feel like this person may find you to be a very spiritually powerful person. You can be wise and stable and patient and calm. I do feel like there's something about you where, and maybe this is this person's experience or view of you, but it's like you let things go. And it's not that you don't get upset or that you don't have any emotions, or you're just like, oh, I'm so like, you know, whatever. You know, I don't care what people do to me. I'm not saying like that. I'm talking about in general, like a more patient and calm energy. This is a wonderful teacher oftentimes too. Somebody who has a heartfelt love of learning and exploring, and there can just be such a fun change in your life. Like you're a person of change, of possibility, of, you might also like classical music, religious studies, astrology, things like that. You might be a natural teacher, or like a kind of a lifelong learner as well. I will say too, there could be a lot of like consideration for others as well. But this almost makes you feel like this person might think you're kind of quiet. Out of the other groups, this one feels like the quiet one. You know what I mean? The wheel, of course, but the wheel is usually quite an extravagant person. Sometimes there can be generosity that's extravagant. So you might do a lot of nice things for other people. Maybe you gift people things or do nice things for them. Oftentimes the wheel does denote somebody who's in touch with their emotions as well, though. Like, so it's not to say that you're just like quiet all the time, but yeah, and usually, you know, without inhibition do they share, you know, these things. Now, also, there can be a really good sense of humor too. Like they might like the way you joke. They might find it beautiful the way that you laugh and like how you express yourself and how you're fun, and how you might even be able to make them laugh on even the darkest days, as an example. And even when it comes to tradition, you might like kind of be like, well, we need change. This is like, yeah, this is almost like, I'll change tradition. I don't live traditionally. You know what I mean? Like, I just do what I want. Because this is a very original, you know, kind of quirky card. And so I do feel like they feel like you are a quirky person. Like, you look, like you do things, your standards are different than a lot of other people. And you may have a lot of friends from different backgrounds and from different places and a lot of different experiences. I feel like you guys have actually had a lot of different experiences. You may have even had experiences in different governments, or like, it's almost like, I'm trying to pin it down. Yeah. It's almost like you know the ins and outs of certain things. You may have a lot of experience in life, like you've just been through a lot of different things, but like officially with real knowledge. It's not just like half-ass, you know? Okay, anyway. The wheel usually doesn't tolerate lengthy depressions. It's going to be somebody who moves on like quite quickly and doesn't like to stay in a bad place for long. And I kind of get that vibe. Like, they may feel like you're not somebody who dwells in negativity or anything like that. You just go within and find the peace, and then you move on. And so again, this is how this person views you. It's what they find beautiful about you. And this may be an experience they've just, you know, seen in you, or they think of you, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is definitely not a wallowing or negative energy. This feels very positive, like uplifting, and all of that. Maybe for some of you, you do work an official role with healing, like maybe traditional, like a nurse or something, or, you know, therapist, or maybe you do things to help people in some level. What do they find beautiful about group number 4? We have the opposition. Got the 8th house. And the 4th house. Okay, so we have water houses showing up. I'm going to take a little bit more here. Okay, Virgo. Okay, let's see here. The 8th house and the 4th house. Well, these are training houses because they are... Do you hear the helicopters? It's been all day, like all day. Anyways, sorry, a trine happens when there are 5 signs from each other, and oppositions happen with 7. So first of all, I feel like this person, it's like they feel like they can talk to you about deep things. This is a person who feels like it's beautiful because they can actually express things that are really going on within them. Like you're the type of person where it's like they could come to you and they could tell you what's really going on with them. You know, the 8th house is known for fears, anxieties, secrets, and things of that nature. And again, I feel like this person may find it beautiful the way that you can, maybe you talk about taboo subjects or things that people don't often talk about. You know what I mean? Like you're able to kind of connect to people and get things out of, you know, sometimes I have that actually. Well, I guess I do my readings and stuff like that, so obviously people come to me with personal stuff, but even my day job, I have a lot of experiences where people will be telling me all kinds of different things. Like I've had like 2 different men cry on the phone with me, and I'm like, I do tech stuff, you know. And again, it was just like, you know, I don't know, I just listen to them, and like sometimes it's just like they need to talk or something like that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and I could see how you might be that kind of person. Like maybe it's like they see that others come to you with serious topics, you know, secret topics. They see people come to you that they trust you, and so it may not even be with them, but they notice that people trust you, that you know what I mean? There's this like, and there's an understanding. And I feel like, yeah, the 4th house is interesting because this is our family, our home life, our roots. And again, this can be like someone who, oh, so the 4th and the 8th, this is the 8th house, the house of crisis. So there might be a lot of childhood crises or something like that too. Or problems in the childhood. Anyone who has like the 8th and the 4th, okay, or the 4th and the 8th, generally, like the rulers, basically. It's an astrological thing. This is like sometimes the home crisis, you know what I mean? Like my husband actually has the 4th and the 8th and Mercury, and he actually moved like totally uprooted. Like his mom just took him to another country, like, and he never even saw people. Like it was like totally like he, you know what I mean? He was from a village, from no, you know what I mean? And didn't see a whole lot, and then suddenly he was in this another country, totally different culture, religion, everything, and it was just like, whoa, you know, different. And but it was quite disturbing for him actually at the time, because he didn't feel like he had a whole lot. That's like where you feel like you don't have stability in your childhood, you know what I mean, where there was instability, and oftentimes secrets or taboos going on or things like that. And again, oh god, my husband fits the bill on that one. He had a lot of stuff going on there in his childhood. But anyway, so again, maybe there's something about where people can open up about these things to you and they find that beautiful. But for some of you, you may be a nurse or a doctor. Did I already say that? I think I already said that, but I'm going to repeat it again. Virgo. I just see that a lot with caretakers, caregivers, people who know how to help people practically as well. Like some of you might be a good house cleaner, or like good at taking care of things in general. Like efficient, reliable. Good advice is an example as well. But yeah, there's just something about you where I feel like they just see you as somebody who they can open up to, or others can open up to. And there's a strong focus on finding it beautiful that you have like your relationships in general. And again, I think that they're attracted to you. Like there's definitely something there. So yeah. Oops, sorry. They might find your smell beautiful, by the way, your perfume. If you wear perfume or cologne, they might find that very beautiful. Okay. Now, what else do we have? Oh, yeah, and physically, we have the cameo. The cameo has been making itself known. And it's funny because we're like, oh, what do they find beautiful? What do they love about you? Well, yeah, your physical features, which I kind of got already. But anyway, there might be also a familiarity, by the way, with the fourth house. We also have never, never give up. And so this can show persistence through all circumstances. And maybe you are a person that never gives up, very easily. We also have the feather here, which to me, or the leaf, sorry, the leaf. Why did I say the feather? Well, feathers maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something there. But the leaf, and I always think of turning over a new leaf, like changing things, right? And again, there's another leaf. So there's something here about nature, and there's leaves here, ferns. Maybe you guys like plants or trees or leaves, or I don't know, maybe there's something there. Maybe some of you have a tattoo of a leaf, or maybe some of you have a tattoo of a feather. Anyway, but yeah, it's almost like something very earthy and natural about you. Yeah. And we also have Little Women. And of course, reading perhaps is something that you love, or you might find it beautiful the way you read, or again, maybe there's some qualities here, like, Jo, like maybe you resemble one of the sisters in the book. Jo is very like independent, loves to write, and all of that, right? And then of course, there's Meg, who's a great homemaker and loves family and gets married for love, and then there's Amy, who wants to succeed. You know what I mean? Like there's just different qualities to the girls, but to the sisters. But anyways, maybe you share qualities with one of them. We also have embrace your imperfections. I really love that, because I do feel like this person, it's like even if you have your imperfections, they love the way that you are, like just the way you are. This person really, really just finds you beautiful just as you are. Like it doesn't matter whether you're wearing makeup, if you're, or whether you're just like, just the way you are. Like this person really just thinks you're a beautiful person. Like no improvement needed. Like they really just think you're a great person. I want to say, I feel like for some of you, this person may have a memento of yours. Like they have some sort of memento, or maybe you gave them something, or you will, and they're going to really treasure it, is what I'm getting. I don't know. Anyway, and then we have here this, yeah. Look, it's like you know how to unlock people's hearts, maybe get people to open up, maybe help people through vulnerabilities, through difficulties, through, maybe it's like intimate situations. And we have here happy with the cake here. So again, maybe a happy birthday. Maybe you throw good birthday parties. Maybe you are always like, just a happy person to be around. And final ones. Ooh, we got here. Ooh, we got Gemini and we've got Taurus. Sorry, Aries. What the hell? What did I say Taurus for? Sorry, I don't know what happened to me. Well, we have here Gemini and Aries, sorry. Aries, well, of course, we can see a lot of energy and get up and go kind of vibes, right? And with Gemini, ooh, so that's like Mercury and Aries possibly, or Mars and Gemini. Well, quite talkative possibly. These are sextiling signs as well, so that's important to remember. It's very good, actually. A good combination. You're by no means boring to this person. I feel like they really enjoy talking to you. I feel like they find it beautiful because you may know a lot of different topics and have a lot of different experiences that you have, you know what I mean? And there's just something optimistic about you and active. Like you have like a strong active personality. It's interesting though because it says solitude, in silence peace prevails. So it's like there's a good balance there. For some of you, you might be good listeners. And they find that beautiful. Of course, we have the butterfly, and the butterfly can represent change and transformation, of course, right? But it also can represent beauty, and because the butterflies are very beautiful. So again, it's another signal to the, that the person thinks you're beautiful. But it also talks about a profound appreciation for the natural cycles of life, death, rebirth that occur with and around you. You have a great deal of vitality with exotic and colorful taste in your choice of clothing, decor, art, music, and even friends. You're very attractive to others. You know, I have to say, out of all the groups, this one feels the most complicated. You feel like a very diverse person, like you have a lot of facets to you. And that's one of the things a person really finds beautiful. It's like there's just so much of it. Like there's so much to you. It's like you're impossible to explore and know all the way. It's just like when you think that you know, you don't. And it's like so contradictory. Like everything's so contradictory here. It's like opposites. It's like you're one way and then you're another. And like, I feel like you're just a very diverse person. And I doubt you've ever been a person that adheres to exactly one group. Like you probably, well, you may have joined different groups or been part of different like circles or whatever, but it feels like you're not to be pinned down like at all. And I just feel like you probably have a lot of diversity of experience is what I'm getting. Anyway, what a beautiful and interesting reading. And those are the things that are beautiful about you. Remember, you have a joyful smile, a happy face, very physically beautiful, just the way you are, however you are, even if it's like, you know, you have like you think you have certain imperfections. We all think we have certain imperfections. It's like this person, not even phased. You're beautiful. No problemo. And, you know, I guess like I just get this such a good vibe here. So anyway, that is what this person finds beautiful about you. I hope this is helpful. I wish you all the very, very best. I hope you have a bright and beautiful day. And if you want to get a personal reading with me, you can go on my Etsy store. And you can also join here as a member on the channel to get exclusive behind the scenes pick-a-cards. So take care, guys, and have a beautiful and blessed day. And I'll see you all next time.